Okay, welcome back for episode number 3 of the Cuboh Restaurant Tech Podcast. So today we are covering restaurant revenue. Really important topic. I mean, revenue, cash flow is the lifeblood of your business. It's the lifeblood of your restaurant. Without cash flow, without revenue, you can't pay people, you can't order food. I mean, it's one of the best ways. Increasing revenue is one of the best ways to actually grow your business and to give you more resources to experiment with new things. And so it's a really important topic. And today we're going to touch on some specific strategies you can use to increase your restaurant's average revenue, increase your sales, and get more money for your business. So number 1 is to staff according to demand. Now, what that means is to take a look at your historical sales data and make sure you're staffing appropriately. Make sure your staffing levels aren't too high during slow points, too low during busy points where you're potentially missing out on customers, missing out on revenue because you have a long lineup or so on and so forth. So take a look at your data, take a look at your historical sales, and staff accordingly. If there's an opportunity for either having a couple more staff where you're missing out or cutting back on staff, that's going to help you increase your, the amount of revenue your business is generating in a given week or a given day. Next is to actually train your workforce effectively. So by that, I mean making sure they understand the appropriate levels of service and what types of freebies are okay to give away, what types of friends and family discounts are okay to give away, making sure they're just effective servers and understand how to create a positive customer experience. Making sure that all that training is covered is going to reflect in having happier staff. They're going to deliver a better experience for your customers. Your customers are going to be happier. They're going to be more likely to repeat, to come back and give you repeat business. And there'll be other trickle down effects that simply come from having a well-trained and knowledgeable staff. So if you're noticing there are issues, consider doing a training session or bringing someone in to teach you or the team about how to be an even better server, cook, service person, etc. Next tip is to encourage table turnover. So I know this can be a bit of a touchy topic because it's restaurants don't ever want for a customer to feel rushed or to feel like they're being hurried out or anything like that. But at the same time, there are simple, subtle, respectful, non-intrusive ways for you or your team to just gently encourage table turnover without impacting that customer experience. So that's things like offering dessert, clearing the plates when people are finished, asking if, is there anything else I can get you tonight, or so on and so forth. Just little things you can do where it's still you're being friendly and it's not a negative impact on the customer experience by any means, but you're giving people subtle cues, subtle being the optimal word there, subtle cues that the meal's over, and this can just sort of help nudge people along and may have a positive impact on your table turnover. Next is the opposite of table turnover, delivery sales. I think restaurants should be really making sure they're dialed in on their delivery sales, their delivery process. Make sure you're on multiple delivery apps. Make sure your online ordering process is really effective. Make sure, you maybe even consider offering, if you're a traditional restaurant, having a virtual brand that uses your existing ingredients and equipment, but generates revenue during the slow times of your traditional business. Maybe it's something that does well in the evenings or in the mornings compared to your maybe a little more lunch/dinner focused restaurant. So you can use delivery, online ordering, this type of thing to generate tons more incremental revenue. Next, be strategic with your sales. Now, by this I mean there are two aspects to this. Don't just say 20% off everything or, something like that. Take a look at which items generate more revenue and more profit, and perhaps consider prioritizing those. Look at your existing ingredients, and if you have too much of something, if you're at risk of something going bad, or if there's something you can do to maximize the use of your ingredients, and then tailor your promotions to draw attention to those products, to push people, encourage people to those products. So in that way, you're being very strategic with which ones are being promoted and how you're promoting them. Similar to that is customer loyalty programs. So the next piece of advice for increasing your average restaurant revenue is to offer customer loyalty programs. Now, there are tools out there that make this really easy. There are cheap ones. There are probably more expensive ones. You could get a punch card and, go to your local library and print some out. There are, tons of opportunities here. First, think about what's right for your business. Perhaps the punch card just isn't right for your brand, or it doesn't, work with your process, or just doesn't quite, you. But there are tools. There are online tools. There are SaaS tools. And in this way, you're going to encourage repeat business. You're going to show people, hey, I value you. I want you to come back. I want you to bring your friends. I want to give you something back. This is how much I appreciate it. So you're going to show people that you care, and you're going to give them a little reason to come back. I mean, we like deals. People like deals. So it's a really easy way to encourage repeat business and generate more revenue from your customers. Next is to boost your word of mouth advertising. Okay, so what do I really mean by that? That just sounds like marketing jargon. And so what I mean is, first of all, making sure you're giving people a really positive customer experience. That goes back to the training of the staff and having effective systems in place. But drop in on the tables, or if you have a general manager, have them drop in on the tables, or even just your servers drop in and say, hey, we just want to check in, see how everything's going, say thank you so much at the end of the meal. Thank you so much for coming in. I hope to see you again. I hope you bring your friends. There are a lot of word of mouth advertising is going to boil down to giving people a positive experience and having good food, right? You're not going to tell someone about a restaurant unless you had a great time there and you ate some great food. But there are also little things you can do, your staff can do, just to help encourage that, just to help build that more positive experience, remind people that this really helps you and you hope to see them again, you hope they bring their friends, just subtle little things that you can do to help elevate that word of mouth advertising. Similar to that, the next tip for increasing your restaurant revenue is to get involved in your community. Build a local presence. Sponsor an event. Get involved with a charity or a program, or just get your name out there. Get out in the community. Start doing stuff. Okay, some of these might cost money and impact your profit, but in terms of revenue, it's going to increase your brand awareness. It's going to help people that become aware of your restaurant that maybe weren't aware of it before. It's going to help people see your values, and people that support similar programs and initiatives and have similar values are really going to resonate with that, and they might be more inclined to come over and give you business because of that local presence you're having. There are a ton of potential benefits for elevating your brand, as well as actually growing your revenue. And then the last tip I will leave you with is to actually rethink your menu. Take a step back, take a look at your data. If you don't have good sales data, do your best to get it. consider using tools that provide, a really good dashboard, some really good analytics, or maybe that means you got to open up a spreadsheet and start crunching some numbers. But take a look at your historical sales data and which menu items are working, which ones aren't working, which ones are people ordering most frequently, which ones provide you with the most revenue, with the most profit, which ones are the most time consuming or have the most costs associated. Just take a step back, audit your menu, rethink why you have certain menu items or how they could be tweaked or optimized or improved or perhaps axed altogether in the name of, or added new items in the name of increasing that revenue, driving more sales. So that basically wraps up our episode on increasing your restaurant revenue. If you have any questions, any comments, any feedback, I would absolutely love to hear it. But in the meantime, I will just say thank you so much for listening, and I hope you have a great day.